days ago, I released a video asking for viewers to send in their Jabba-related creations, and I'll have to say I was really blown away by the response. Some of the items were made specifically for this challenge, and others were things that people had already made in the past, but both were welcome. I'm going to be introducing each of the submissions more or less in the order they were received, and I'll be using the name that I was given, although in some cases that might actually be the name of a family member who submitted it. I hope I managed to get all of the submissions in here. If you find that yours is missing, please do let me know and I'll make a follow-up video. Without any further ado, let's look at what people sent me. First up, we have several submissions from Aiden, who is a big fan of Salacious Crumb, as you may be able to tell, and that's his name here on YouTube as well. He's got several drawings here, based at least partially on the action figures, and this excellent drawing of Jabba and his friends. Next up, we have this clay sculpture from Colin, who apparently watches the channel with his dad, and in fact I heard that from several people who watch with their kids, which is really kind of inspiring to me. Great job, Colin. Great detail there. Here we have a needle-felted Jabba from Julia, who did an amazing job capturing all of Jabba's fine detail, including his eyes here, his arm tattoo, even the scar on his tail. So I'm really impressed by this. Thanks, Julia. Duplo Block sent in this drawing of Graballa the Hutt from LEGO Star Wars The Freemaker Adventures. Very well done, and a character you don't really see too much of. RapsFan1190 sent in this clay Jabba the Hutt. It really reminds me of some kind of a marshmallow treat, which I like. Jet sent in this custom LEGO Jabba's Palace display that he's been working on for quite some time and has added various things to, such as a Gonk Droid torture chamber, a jail, and Jabba's personal kitchen. And he's even added some lights apparently, so it's very impressive looking. This cat model here is particularly realistic looking. This drawing from David is titled, "If Jabba Wasn't Evil, He'd Look Like This," and I'll have to agree, very, very cute. Jackson has sent in a couple of submissions. The first is, of course, Zero the Hutt from the Clone Wars, and we also have Jabba the Hutt himself. Very impressive. Thank you very much. Jose sent in some pictures of these custom-painted Jabba and Bib Fortuna figures, which are very well done. And he also has a variety of other customs, as you can see in this shot of his entire Jabba's Palace display. Look at all those dancing girls. He also sent in this picture of his custom LEGO Jabba's Palace set. That Kinda Artist sent in this radial symmetry Jabba, which I find strangely mesmerizing. Mason sent in several things. This was an art project he made a few years ago when he was in 8th grade, and it's a little blurry, but you can see how cute it would have been. Here's a drawing of Jabba, and of Jabba's Palace at Christmas time with all kinds of Christmas-themed details if you look at it closely. Finally, we have this cake that he got for his 16th birthday. I'm totally jealous. Friend of the channel Mario sent in this project that he was working on. This is not something that he created from scratch. This was actually based on the wrapper from some vintage Topps trading cards, but he has taken it and cleaned it up a lot in Photoshop and made a couple of wallpaper versions you could use on your computer, one with wrinkles and one without. Zach sent in this line drawing of a rather hungover looking Jabba. Thanks very much, Zach. Jeremiah is a 3D artist who's trying to replace the Jabba the Hutt that was digitally added to A New Hope and make it look more like the one from Return of the Jedi, and I think he's well on his way to really improving on what was in those movies. And apparently this was at least partially based on the life-size 3D model of Jabba that I used to print my life-size Jabba statue, so that's pretty cool. I'd really like to see how this turns out. Next up we have this drawing from Asher. It says, "Ha ha ha, I will not give up my favorite decoration." And I like how there's a little arrow pointing to the frog. Lots of nice detail there, Asher. Reese and Reese's grandma apparently made this plush from scratch. I'm told it's called the $10,000 Gucci Jabba. Incidentally, I'm glad that Gucci doesn't make a $10,000 Jabba because I might feel compelled to buy it. Jacobus sent in this custom LEGO Jabba's Palace that has a lot of interesting additions, including the meat rotisserie there behind Jabba, and basically it's totally reworked. There's a lot going on here if you want to pause it and take a look. But my favorite detail was probably the Tauntaun head on the wall next to Han Solo in Carbonite, which he has replicated by having the Tauntaun actually stick his body through the wall, which I thought was very clever. Amadeus sent in this picture of Goomba the Hutt, which is of course a mashup of Jabba the Hutt and a Goomba from Super Mario Bros. Very nice. Ben sent in this 3D model of Jabba as a Boglin. Boglins were a kind of vintage toy that looked something like this, so he's reimagined it to be a Jabba version, which I thought was very interesting. Andrew sent in this custom throne that he made for his 3 3/4 inch Jabba display. It includes some 3D printed gargoyle heads, which I thought was really cool, and overall, it's a great looking throne. Nurs sent in 2 digital art pieces. This one is Bib Fortuna and Boba Fett at Jabba's palace, and then we have Jabba himself. Very nice. Henry is apparently 6 years old and sent in 3 submissions. This one is of the Max Rebo band. Then we have Jabba on his throne with Bib Fortuna and Salacious Crumb, and perhaps my favorite, we have Ninja the Hutt. Scarlet made this very colorful clay sculpture of Jabba on his throne with Salacious Crumb, and I assume that's his hookah pipe there on the right. Martin sent in this full-sized Jabba costume that he made from some rubber floor tiles based on a YouTube tutorial. It seems like it would have been a lot of work, but very impressive. Oliver sent in this picture of a custom Lego Jabba on throne that he made, and I like this picture too because it kind of reminds me of the movie. Here's another custom Lego Jabba on throne, this one of course using the original Lego Jabba figure on a completely scratch-built throne. It's very impressive. Thanks, Felix. Mr. Tom submitted 3 art pieces. This first one is called Journey to the Sarlacc Pit and shows them on the skiff by Jabba's palace with a herd of bantha. Next we have Salacious Crumb and Jabba himself. Very impressive work. Titus sent in this 3D printed Jabba-shaped doorstop that he created and made available on Thingiverse if anyone wants to download and print it. Very creative. Riley sent in this awesome drawing of Jabba and many of the aliens from his palace. Martin sent in this picture of a clever Jabba that he created with some Rubik's Cube puzzles. This pencil sketch of Jabba holding a froggy snack was sent in by Zeth, and I really think it captures a lot of the detail on Jabba, including his arm tattoo. Tommy sent in this very cute Lego sculpture that he made of Jabba playing with his toys, and if you look closely you can see he's actually got a littler Jabba there with, I'm not sure if it's Leia on the right there or if it's his hookah pipe perhaps, and then in front of them I assume is Jedi Luke and R2-D2 probably. Very well done and very appropriate for this channel. Des sent in this picture of 6 different Jabba's Palace characters. From left to right we have Bib Fortuna, Jabba with Rota on his head, Salacious Crumb, Tessic or Squidhead, Effant Mon, and Cy Snoodles. Wow. Jose Luis sent along this 2-page drawing of lots of different Jabba's Palace characters. In fact, there's too many to name here, but if you want to take a closer look, we can see there's Jabba and members of the Max Rebo band, all nicely labeled there too. Thank you very much. This next one is from Bobby. He sent along a pencil drawing of Jabba on his throne with all the details nicely captured. Next we have 4 drawings from Ryan. The first is Jabba and Salacious Crumb on the throne, but the rest of them are all Jabba reimagined as other characters. So we have Jabba as Chewbacca with Han Solo / Salacious Crumb. Then we have C-3PO Jabba with R2-D2 Salacious Crumb. And finally, we have Jabba as the Emperor with Salacious Crumb playing the role of Darth Vader. Very, very creative. Robert sent in 2 digital submissions. This one here is a sad Jabba, obviously, Jabba crying. And he also made this pixel art animated Jabba, which is extremely cute. Next we have one of 2 Minecraft submissions. This one from Evan shows a very detailed and large Jabba's palace interior with a throne and places for the guests to sit, and this is the Han Solo and Carbonite display area with the trophies on the wall. Behind the throne, we have what I assume is the meat rotisserie area and the archway. It's very impressive how much detail has been crammed in here. Our next submission is from Tony, who made a complete Minecraft world themed after Tatooine and Jabba's palace in particular. This one, if we go into the palace here, we'll see some Gamorrean guards and a Bomar monk, followed by the actual throne room itself with C-3PO there on top of the throne, and we can fall down into the Rancor pit as well, which is rather impressive. Here we are back on the throne where you can see the meat rotisserie area and then the droid torture chamber. If we go back outside the palace, we can see that there is a full sail barge that these made in addition to the sand crawler, and you can actually fall down into the Sarlacc pit where Boba Fett presumably is being digested. If we go back up into the sail barge itself, you can see that he's also made the full throne room there for Jabba, the mobile throne room, if you will. So that's a very cool detail. And finally, if we look down here, there's a little sign that he's added that says, "You're the best, mighty Jabba," and right back at you, Tony. By the way, Tony's little sister Paige also sent in this drawing of Jabba coming out of an egg, which reminds me of the Easter video I just made. Speaking of Easter, Wookiee for Life sent along this picture of a Jabba figure wearing some clay or Play-Doh bunny ears. Interestingly, the only food-related submission I got was from Nathan. This is Jabba the Ham sandwich with whole grain cheddar goldfish cracker details. This Oola figure from Spoiled Collector is actually a modified Monster High figure. That outfit is pretty impressive, and it's nice to see more things for Oola. Mr. Giant Squid sent this drawing of the Max Rebo Band with the addition of a Jawa playing some kind of stringed instrument. Very nice. This is a felt Jabba that my daughter made for me. Finally, we have a couple of digital art submissions from Corey in Australia. This is, of course, Yak Face, and he sent this to me before I even made this challenge. In fact, it was one of the inspirations for making this video, so thanks, Corey. And then finally, we have a picture of Jabba himself. So those are all your submissions, at least I hope it's all of them. As I said, if I manage to skip someone, please do let me know. I think if I'm ever going to do this kind of thing again, I'm going to limit people to just sending by email if possible, because having people send things in through email and all different social media sites really kind of got confusing after a little while. But anyway, I am super impressed and very, very happy with all of your submissions, and I hope you enjoyed doing them if you actually created one, and hope you enjoyed seeing everyone else's submissions as well. Thanks for watching, and thanks for taking part.